of the 37th Training Wing. So it's kind of weird because you guys had to remember my names, right?
Yes, sir.
But now I get a chance to meet you and say congratulations. Today is still your day.
just got here at BMC. Here's my address.
This week has been rough.
I can't even tell you how many times I've been yelled at already. God, I've never been so tired.
I didn't know making a bed could bruise my knuckles. I took my first PT test today.
I didn't think I could run that fast.
We have to do so many push-ups.
Let's go.
Push it. But it hasn't been all bad.
I'm actually starting to make a lot of new friends. Hearing my name during mail call keeps me going.
Getting letters from you means the world to me.
It really made the weeks fly by.
Finally got our names on our uniforms. I never thought I could put an M16 together so fast.
The gas chamber was the worst experience so far.
I got my dog tags today.
It really makes me feel like I'm a part of something much bigger than myself.
It has not been easy, but we're so close to being done.
I've screwed up some things, but my wingmen have really helped me out.
We've learned so much.
Everything's going by so fast now.
We've become a real team.
When we first got here, we made a lot of mistakes, but now our flight's really coming together.
We've passed all our final exams, and we are so ready to become airmen.
I can't wait to see you.
I can't wait to see you.
I can't wait to see you.
I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to see you.
I can't wait to see you.
I can't wait to see you.
I can't wait.
I can't wait to see you.
We can't wait to see you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Technical Sergeant Alexandra Springman from the 319th Training Squadron, and I will be your narrator for today's ceremony. This event is a celebration of the achievements of these graduating airmen. It is also a ceremony that both teaches and appreciates our Air Force military heritage. Over the last 8.5 weeks, the airmen before you have transformed from civilians into motivated, disciplined, warrior airmen with the foundation to serve in the world's greatest Air Force. Once these airmen leave basic military training, they will continue on to technical training to learn the skills needed to perform in one of over 118 Air Force specialties. They will then move on to serve at one of over 84 Air Force bases around the world or work directly with our sister services. Of the hundreds of thousands of American citizens that enter the workforce each year, less than 1% have joined the ranks of the United States military, and an even smaller percentage in the United States Air and Space Force. You should be proud of their accomplishments thus far. The airmen before you have reached a milestone in their Air Force journey and will require your continued support to assist them in their future endeavors. Please stand for the entrance of our official party, the playing of ruffles and flourishes. Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem. Please remain standing for the invocation given by Chaplain Yates.
Let us pray. Holy and almighty God, today we gather with joy and gratitude to celebrate this milestone, the first of many in the lives of these young men and women who now graduate and take their oath to support and defend the Constitution of this great nation. During their training, O Lord, they have fueled their zeal for service and claimed a warrior spirit. Now bless them with the resolve to fulfill the high calling they've received as airmen. And we ask your blessing on their families, friends, and loved ones who, from all around the world, have supported these airmen with hopes and prayers to faithfully complete their journey through basic military training. And we give you thanks and ask your blessing for the instructors who had invested the time and devotion needed to develop responsibility, integrity, and teamwork in these airmen. Gracious God, fill them now with a spirit of wisdom, understanding, and fidelity, so that as they enter the next challenge, they may honorably follow those who have hallowed the path ahead and become our next generation of leaders. We pray all these things in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Yates. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Welcome to today's basic military training graduation ceremony. We would like to introduce our distinguished guests, beginning with the host for today's ceremony, the Commander, Air Force Basic Military Training, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, Colonel Michael Newsom. The Superintendent, Air Force Basic Military Training, Chief Master Sergeant Leary Guyton. Today's guest speakers is the Vice Commander, Headquarters, United States Space Forces, Lieutenant General David Thompson. From the 37th Training Wing, the Commander, 37th Training Wing, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, Colonel Jason Gennaros. The Command Chief, 37th Training Wing, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, Chief Master Sergeant Stefan Blazer. Although time does not permit us to introduce all of our distinguished guests, the 37th Training Wing is proud to welcome each of you. We hope you enjoy today's ceremony. The airmen who will graduate today have completed a demanding 8.5-week program that provides Air Force units throughout the world with trained airmen. They will lead the way for the thousands of airmen to follow, all reflecting on our enlisted heritage, tradition of honor, and our legacy of valor. From the 320th Training Squadron, Flight 193, led by Technical Sergeant Martin Hernandez, hometown San Bernardino, California. From the 320th Training Squadron, Flight 194, led by Technical Sergeant Jessica Gillespie, hometown Las Vegas, Nevada. From the 320th Training Squadron, Flight 195, led by Technical Sergeant Ryan Neefsey, hometown El Paso, Texas. From the 320th Training Squadron, Flight 196, led by Master Sergeant Nicholas Thompson, hometown Plano, Texas. From the 321st Training Squadron, Flight 209, led by Technical Sergeant Nicholas Walker, hometown Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. From the 321st Training Squadron, Flight 210, led by Staff Sergeant Thomas Jenkins, hometown Anderson, Indiana. From the 322nd Training Squadron, Flight 205, led by Technical Sergeant Cruz Dozal, hometown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. From the 322nd Training Squadron, Flight 206, led by Technical Sergeant Jesse Mentor, hometown Hoyleton, Illinois. From the 322nd Training Squadron, Flight 207, led by Technical Sergeant Adam Roseknall, hometown Tampa, Florida. From the 322nd Training Squadron, Flight 208, led by Technical Sergeant Andrew Spiker, hometown Reading, Pennsylvania. From the 324th Training Squadron, Flight 201, led by Technical Sergeant James Warnke, hometown Cincinnati, Ohio. From the 324th Training Squadron, Flight 202, led by Technical Sergeant Isaac Adamora, hometown Houston, Texas. From the 324th Training Squadron, Flight 203, led by Technical Sergeant Skylar Cooper, hometown Cottonwood, Arizona. From the 324th Training Squadron, Flight 204, led by Master Sergeant Mark Johnson, hometown Timberlake, South Dakota. From the 331st Training Squadron, Flight 197, led by Master Sergeant Justin Taylor, hometown DePoyster, New York. From the 331st Training Squadron, Flight 198, led by Technical Sergeant James Pomar, hometown Cabra Diaz, Puerto Rico. From the 331st Training Squadron, Flight 199, led by Staff Sergeant Matthew Rice, hometown Altus, Oklahoma. From the 331st Training Squadron, Flight 200, led by Technical Sergeant Kristen Schott, hometown West Palm Beach, Florida. At this time, we would like to recognize basic military training's most outstanding performer. This airman has surpassed all others in the challenges of training and earned the distinction of being the top graduate of this basic military training class. This individual has been selected as the #1 out of 857 graduates. Colonel Michael Newsom, Commander, Basic Military Training, and Chief Master Sergeant Leary Guyton, Superintendent, Basic Military Training, will make this presentation. They will be accompanied by the top grads military training instructor, Staff Sergeant Matthew Rice. The top graduating airman of this class is from the 331st Training Squadron, Airman First Class Connor Grogan. Ladies and gentlemen, how about another round of applause for this exceptional airman? At this time, we would like to recognize the top flight for this graduating class. (737th Training Group, United States Air Force, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas. Subject, Commander's Excellence Streamer. The Commander's Excellence Streamer is awarded to the 322nd Training Squadron, Flight 207, for their significant accomplishments demonstrating teamwork, excellence, and esprit de corps through the period of 20 January 2020 through 12 March 2020. Signed, Michael Newsom, Colonel, United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, the Superintendent, Basic Military Training, Chief Master Sergeant Larry Guyton.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. Come on now, Airmen. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Whoop. Whoop. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And for the moms, the dads, the uncles, the aunts out there in Cyberland watching us live today, I would like to tell you one simple thing. I get it. I understand. Thank you for trusting us with your sons and daughters. For the airmen in the crowd, I want you to look behind me. Take a look. Do you see them? Look again. Do you see them?
Yes, sir.
Those are the airmen that came before you. Those are the airmen that serving with you right now. But moreover, if you look closely, you will see your moms and dads, your uncles, your aunts standing right beside me, right in the back of me. And no, your chief didn't go mad. Squint, look again. They're right behind you. They're in front of you. They're to your right and to your left, but more importantly, they're right behind me, supporting you all the way. Airmen, for the last 8.5 weeks, our Air Force has challenged you to reach your maximum potential, both physically and mentally. Your military training instructors have given you everything that you need to make sure you are ready to serve in the United States Air Force. And they believe that you are ready. The Airman's coin that you got yesterday, it's a simple coin, but it carries with it history and heritage of our airmen. The men and women who have come before you, they have airlifted troops and supplies into the jungles of Vietnam, executed precision airstrikes in the deserts of Iraq and Afghanistan, delivered humanitarian aid to Africa and South America. They have launched missiles, they have flown satellites, and defended airstrips and strengthened our partnerships around the globe. They have stood on the North Pole, the South Pole, and everywhere in between. In just 71 years, we have become the most dominant Air Force in the world. But we can and will be better because of you, Airmen. You will take us there. Airmen, you are joining a team of professionals dedicated to the integrity, service, and excellence. You are joining a team rooted in dignity and respect. You are joining a team that will look to you to define character of our Air Force for years to come. We have the utmost faith in you, Airmen. I do. We all do. Because every time you recite the Airman's Creed, you proclaim that you will not fail. And you know what? I believe you. I believe in every single one of you. As Superintendent of Basic Military Training, I hereby acknowledge your completion of Air Force Basic Training graduation requirements. And I recommend to our commander that you move forward to technical training. Airmen, here's what you need to know. As of this moment, you are my teammates. You are my brother. You are my sister. And most importantly, you are my wingman. But let us not forget, you are now an American Airman. Airmen, congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander, Air Force Basic Military Training, Colonel Michael Newsom.
morning, everyone. Good morning, sir. What a great day for a graduation, right? Yes, sir. Bua? Bua. General Thompson, Colonel Janeros, BMT leaders, family, friends, veterans who are viewing us online. Let me begin by saying, I can only imagine how disappointed you are that you're not here physically sitting beside your loved ones. But one thing that I do know is that you are very proud of each and every one of them. Because today we get to graduate 854 lethal ready airmen. What do you think about that? So despite the situation, I want you to know our Air Force family is sitting right here beside them as family. So the only thing they need to know is that you are proud of them. And I know wherever you are very proud of them. And as the commander of basic military training, I would tell you, I am proud of each and every one of them. Because they are my wingmen. They are my fellow airmen. And most of all, they are the future of our Air Force. Now, since arriving to basic military training, these young men and women have been challenged, both mentally and physically, each and every day. They have been pushed to be better than what they were the day before. They are disciplined. They are devoted to our Air Force core values. And they have earned the right to be called airmen. What about that? Now, I will tell you, everything they have achieved and everything they have accomplished here in BMT would not have been possible without the dedication of the men and women who I'd like to recognize at this time. It is said, thousands get to serve in our Air Force, but only a few gets the opportunity to create it. These young men and women have spared no effort to properly prepare young men and women for military service. They have pledged to strive for perfection and accept nothing less. They have motivated, trained, and inspired these airmen to be their very best. So at this time, would all my military training instructors please stand to be recognized? Military instructors, you are indeed the gateway to our Air Force. Please have a seat. And now to the families, friends, and to our veterans. 8.5 weeks ago, you entrusted us with our nation's treasures, which are your sons and daughters. Your support has pushed these airmen to successfully complete basic military training and join the world's greatest Air Force. I want to take this opportunity at this time to say thank you. Thank you for your support and your encouragement. But more importantly, on behalf of the Air Force, I want to say thank you for your trust. Now I'd like to address our new airmen. You have separated yourself from the common American by completing basic military training. From this day forward, I promise you, you will never be the same. And as a prior enlisted airman, and now the commander of basic military training, I know just how far you have come to get to this particular point. So it is said, to whom much is given, much is required. During your 8.5 weeks of training, you have been given the foundational tools to be resilient, to be able to adapt and overcome the challenges you will face in life. You have been given the combat training to help you survive when you are deployed. You have been given our core values of integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do as your moral compass to live your life. But more importantly, you have been given the opportunity to be part of something bigger than yourself, and that is to be part of our Air Force family. Going forward, our nation was built by the diversity of people. People from all different religions, backgrounds, and cultures. Our Air Force was built on these same principles. So remember, diversity is our strength, and inclusiveness is our power. So my challenge to you today, new airmen, is to make our Air Force better, more lethal, and more ready. Let our Air Force core values be your moral compass. Hold yourself and others to the standards and accept nothing less. Be accountable for your actions and have the courage to say something when you see something that goes against our values. But more importantly, as airmen, as leaders, we always lead from the front. So I want you to think about, for a second, I want you to think about the oath of office that you're going to take here in a few minutes. The oath of office that states, I swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Take a moment and think about that. What does that really mean to you? I would tell you, our Air Force mission is a no-fail mission. It is a 24/7, around the clock, and it's Monday through Sunday type mission. And we entrust you to make sure that that mission is executed each and every day, no matter where you are, where you may be deployed or where you may be stationed. So in closing, I would tell you, you have earned my deepest respect, and I look forward to serving beside you as America's sword and shield, united in the defense of the Constitution of the United States. So welcome to the world's greatest Air Force, and congratulations to each and every one of you. Congratulations, Airmen. One team. One flag! At this time, I'd like for you to stand and join me in reciting the Airman's Creed. I, an American airman.
I am a warrior. I have answered my nation's call. I am an American airman.
My mission is to fly, fight, and win.
I am faithful to a proud heritage,
a tradition of honor,
and a legacy of valor.
I am an American airman,
Guardian of freedom and justice, my nation's sword and shield, its century and measure. I defend my country with my life. I am an American airman, wingman, leader, warrior. I will never leave an airman behind. I will never falter, and I will not fail.
Congratulations.
Please be seated. Our guest speaker for today's event is the Vice Commander, Headquarters, United States Space Forces. He is responsible for carrying out space missions and integrating space policy, guidance, and coordination. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant General David Thompson.
Colonels, chiefs, MTIs, everyone in the basic military training cadre, let me start, first of all, by thanking each of you for what you do every single day. This is just one class of 50 that you provide every year that are the foundations of the United States Air and Space Forces. Everyone knows an institution cannot grow, cannot be strong without a firm foundation, and that's what you provide for us every single day. So thanks to you all first, and on behalf of these about to be airmen and their friends and family online, let me say thanks and lead them on a round of applause. So, it's a great day in our Air Force. It's an exciting day in our Air Force, and I'll acknowledge it's also a challenging and a little bit of a difficult day. Among the many traits we have as American Airmen, however, is that we see every challenge as an opportunity. And so today, I would like to take this opportunity that we see in the challenge that we face to talk a little bit about why we're here, to talk a little bit about why you're here. First of all, you're here to do what the nation needs you to do. And let's talk a little bit about what the nation needs. The nations need people who will make tough choices, make hard decisions, and then stand by them. The nation needs people who will do the jobs that nobody else wants to do. The nation needs people who are ready to act, not to criticize those who take those actions. The nation needs people who are calm and who drive on, while others around them descend into chaos. And most of all, as reflected in the creed that you just recited, the nation needs a sword and the nation needs a shield. It needs sentries and it needs avengers. Those are not just words. They reflect a sacred responsibility. Now let's talk about each of you, trainees about to be airmen, and let's talk a little bit about and remember who and what you want to be. First of all, you knew that there was more to this world and more to this life than Facebook memes and video games. You knew there was a need and a desire and a service and a meaning to have a special purpose in your life and to serve something greater than yourself. You knew that when those around you thought about the term friend or comrade, or in the last 8 weeks, wingman, you knew that you were the person they wanted to think about first. And most of all, you knew that at some point in your life, it might come after the first term of your enlistment, it might come at 30 years, when they kick you out the door because you don't want to leave, that at the end of that service, that you had done something that mattered and that changed the world for the better. That's who you wanted to be. That's who you've become over these last 8 weeks, and that's who we will expect you to be in the future. Finally, I'd like to talk a little bit to the friends and family, the loved ones who can't be here today physically but are here with us in spirit. And I want to talk to you about what your airmen have become. They have become people who don't stop working when the sun goes down. They stop when the job is done. They're people who understand that failure is not being knocked down. Failure is refusing to stand up again. They're now people who do the right thing, not because others are watching, because it's the right thing to do. And I know for many of you there's a tear in your eye today, but I hope that tear doesn't drown out a gleam. The gleam that appears when you see an American airman standing in blue, upright, erect, moving with purpose, acting decisively, and then suddenly recognize that isn't just an airman, that's your airman. I also know there's an ache in your heart today, an ache because you want to be here. You want to hug your airman around the neck. You want to poke them in the ribs and make sure the Air Force has been feeding them well. You want to make sure they've been brushing their teeth. I know there's an ache in your heart today, but I hope it's filled with pride as well. Pride in understanding what your loved one has chosen, what they've asked for, and what they've pledged their lives to serve. For all of you, I'd like to say, as one of 300 million Americans, our nation understands what you do. They know that you serve, they know that you sacrifice, and they are deeply, deeply appreciative of who you are, what you do, and what you've pledged to do on their behalf. And so today, you're about to join the ranks of the Long Blue Line. Let me tell you again, this certainly you would have remembered for the rest of your life. If we'd had family and friends, if we'd been out on the parade field, you'd remember that. But let me tell you, this is going to be a great story that you'll share with the fellow airmen beside you from here on forward. And so, if you're all ready, are you prepared to join the ranks of the world's greatest air and space forces? I think they're ready. Okay. Airmen, please stand.
Please stand. General Thompson will now administer the oath of enlistment.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I
do solemnly swear or affirm.
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will obey the orders of the President of the United States.
That I will obey the orders of the President of the United States.
And the orders of the officers appointed over me.
And the orders of the officers appointed over me.
According to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
According to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Airmen, and welcome to the world's greatest air and space forces.
Thank you, General Thompson. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the singing of the Air Force song and the departure of our official party.
Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, zooming to meet our thunder. Atta boys, give her the gun, give her the gun. Down we dive, spouting our flames from under. Off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame, and we're down in flame. Hey, nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force.
Please be seated. MDCs, please.